I'm John Giever for MedPage Today in Paris for the Alzheimer's Association International Conference on Alzheimer's Disease. Head injury is increasingly viewed as a risk factor for dementia, and a new study presented here finds more support for that relationship. Dr. Christine Yaffe of the University of California, San Francisco, studied older veterans who had had a history of traumatic brain injury and were followed for 7 years. She found that the risk of dementia was more than doubled in those individuals. She spoke at a press briefing here.
What might the mechanisms be that might explain why somebody who has TBI will go on to get dementia? There are a number of mechanisms that people have suggested. We don't know for sure. One has to do with the impact during the TBI of shearing forces on the axons and a disruption of the neuronal communication, if you will. Another really intriguing possibility is that those who've had TBI are at increased risk to the neuropathologic basis of Alzheimer's, such as tau formation and A-beta formation, amyloid beta formation. So it's interesting because people with TBI have a greater number of amyloid beta plaques, the signature for Alzheimer's. And also there are tau-positive neurofibrillary tangles, suggesting that maybe there's something about TBI, just like with the boxing syndrome, which might predispose you to later on protein deposition linking to Alzheimer's. There's also neuronal loss or neuronal damage that may lead to injury, and also a number of other mechanisms such as inflammation and damage to the cells. So what can we say, and what does this really mean? The bottom line is, in our study, older veterans with TBI were twice as likely to develop dementia over our 7-year study. It suggests that TBI may predispose people to earlier manifestation of symptoms, or possibly as a risk factor, and I can talk a bit more about those differences. And I think it raises hope that treatment or rehabilitation may have a role in preventing downstream dementia, and we can talk a little bit about that. I also think it suggests very much that we need to be cognizant of this risk factor, and for those of us who've had a TBI or know people with TBI, this is a group who probably should be followed very carefully as they age and be screened for dementia or other cognitive problems, because it's really a major risk factor, and I think knowing that made for better screening, and ideally when we have preventative strategies, this would be a very good group to offer prevention. And I think there are also some public health important notice here, which is, you know, we care a lot about our bodies in certain ways. We wear seat belts, we wear shin guards, etc. But I think we need to get even better at protecting our skulls and our brains, whether it's with helmets or whether it's with prevention strategies.
In Paris, I'm John Giever, MedPage Today.